Hello, for my topic, I will be discussing bullying during adolescence. According to our textbook, bullying is an extreme form of peer rejection, but to me, it is when someone goes out of their way to harm or intimidate someone else. Bullying usually occurs around early adolescence between ages 9 through 10 and then rises throughout middle school. As we grow into adulthood, the bullying decreases. There are three components to bullying, which are verbal and physical aggression, repetition, and status. Students who are popular or in the higher status tend to pick on others who are in the lower status. Other students tend to be bystanders due to the victim's low status. My first article talks about bullying in adolescent girls with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. ADHD is not gender biased. However, the symptoms are more common in boys than girls, according to this source. It is also the most common developmental disorder among children in general. ADHD can affect girls negatively and their social skills because, according to this article, girls have a stronger peer relationship than boys. And another point the author brings up is that children with ADHD are more likely to participate in bullying than others, meaning they can be the bully and the bullied. This is because their hyperactivity and impulsivity interferes with their social skills, meaning that children with ADHD tend to be more talkative, noisy, restless, intrusive, and off-task. So they're seen as rule-breaking and disruptive. So this will annoy the other students and put them in the place of the victim. So what we can do about this problem is notice the signs of ADHD first. It never hurts to consult a professional. So in my other article, I researched cyberbullying, which is another type of bullying on the internet. In this source, adolescents from the United States are surveyed. So there were about 1,500 adolescents, ages from 10 to 17, who are frequent internet users. 12% reported that they have been aggressive online. 4% were the targets of aggression, and while 3% were the aggressor and the target. So these studies were from the early 2000s, so I didn't think it was super helpful because now it's 2020 and they weren't looked at on a large scale. As I found that as social media was growing, it was easier to cyberbully because the bully could hide behind a screen. So my next article, it talks about Korean American adolescents and their mental health. So as we talked before in the class discussion, that has self-identification was one of our topics, and we know that identity forms as a pre-adolescent, and we can see this like through our parents. Being a bully and the bullied can both take a toll on our mental health. So victims and bullies experience the same social and emotional problems along with behavioral problems. And most of the time, victims commonly experience depression and anxiety. In the next article, I found that cyberbullying and mental health correlate. So one interesting fact I learned was that the cyberbully victims are from monoparental families, meaning that they come from a single parent household. They experience emotional problems, psychosomatic problems like headaches or stomach aches, higher level of perceived difficulties, social issues, and not feeling safe while attending school. Meanwhile, the cyberbully faces high levels of perceived difficulties and feeling disproportionately looked at by teachers. And what I mean by that is like teachers are watching them maybe more than the other students. So what the teacher will be looking for is hyperactivity or behavioral problems. So in my experience as an adolescent, I was never the bullied or a bully. I can think of maybe one time I was made fun of because I was adopted and I didn't look like my mom, but that's really like the only time I can think of it. Nothing too severe, or nothing too severe that like stuck with me through adulthood. And so if a child is being bullied at school, I would advise them to contact teachers, counselors, principals, and whoever else is in charge.